we need a legal framework. Those were the words of the National Media Commission chairman, Mr. Blair Ameher, when he launched the African Media Barometer Ghana 2011 report by the Frederick Ebert Stiftung FES in Accra. Tonight on Majority Caucus, we are looking at elections 2012, the media and peace building. And we have in our studios a member of the government communication team, Fred Kwesi Agbenyo, who is also who also comes from the Hwahwe constituency. And then we also have Alhaji, our own Alhaji Halidu Haruna, who works at the office of the president. Gentlemen, you're warmly welcome to Majority Caucus.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me first of all ask her for your general impressions about how the media in Ghana has been working so far. Do you think that there have been a level playing field, and the reportage that the media has been churning out so far is something to write home about?
Thank you very much, and good evening to viewers. I think that, seriously speaking, doing a serious content analysis of the performance of the media since the inception of the multi-party democracy from '92 up to date, if you ask me, I would say, looking at the difficulties and challenges, they have not done too badly, but there are areas that they need to look at. And I'm sure when we continue the program going into details, we would point out those areas. But largely, I would say that on the whole, they have done averagely in terms of their performance.
You are measuring them
Yes.
with an average performance,
Yes.
both print, electronic media?
Both, because certainly there are some media houses that have maintained the standard. The ethics have not been sacrificed for the sake of political bias. They may have their stand, but they consistently continue to maintain the ethics of the profession. Now, there are a few of them that when you look at the way they have managed their editorial policies, clearly you cannot sacrifice them and say that they have been pushing an agenda that will only benefit a few sections of the society. But largely, I would say that they have indeed protected the general interest and good of the Ghanaian people. So I would want to generally give them an average mark.
Okay, let me come to Fred. Maybe Fred might have a diverse opinion.
Well, fellas, thank you very much, and good evening to our cherished viewers. I largely agree with the concerns raised by my colleague, Alhaji, that the media has done very well, looking at the things what they've gone through since '92, the challenges that have confronted them, especially coming from the PNDC era, our own era, which all over the world may not be very tolerant to the media. That's how military regimes have always operated.
That is, you are limiting it to the PNDC as a military
That's right. I'm just limiting it to that for a very good purpose. That yes, during those eras, media doesn't really have the flexibility to operate as they may want to operate, and therefore there was a fear that coming into multi-party democracy in 1992, we were going to see same. But interestingly, things improved very fast. Our media today is mentioned as one of the freest, the freest around the sub-region. You go to Nigeria, media men don't have the latitude to do whatever they want to do, other parts of Africa and the rest. But here in Ghana, our media has the free will to report on what they want to report, to say whatever they want to say. And so therefore, I think they've done largely. But for the media, I am wondering what would have happened to our governance system. What would have become of we the politicians who have a free day, do whatever they want to do. Issues that either too, because the media was not that widespread, we didn't know about. Now we hear them. Everything that happened in every part of this country quickly comes to the fore. People are discussing and people get to know about it, and quickly we are able to move in to help. If you look at it in terms of security, the media is playing a very fantastic role in that area. Issues come up, they are first to hear it, they announce it on radio, the police moving, the soldier moving, and they compliment whatever that they are doing. So for me, I think they've not done badly, except to say that there's a vast room for improvement. They can do so much if individuals within the setup can go back and look at the ethics of the profession, that it is the fourth estate of the realm. It is so crucial to any democratic drive. And individuals within the setup will be that mindful, be that conscious, and not just play to the gallery because I'm a media man, I have mic by me, I can say whatever I want to say. and then they'll take pain and play by the rules. I'm sure as time moves on, we'll have a very, very, very brilliant and a media that all of us can be proud of. So yeah, so far, not bad. They've done well. We have to commend them and urge them to go on. But that is not to say that as and when they go wrong, we will not also point it out. But the sad thing is that majority of us are not unable to pick up the media. You pick any media man on, he has access to the media 24 hours, and then it becomes a battle between you and them. They have their papers, they'll write anything they want to write about you. The print media, today, because of television now, we discuss whatever that comes up in the print media. Either to nobody discuss the newspapers in the print, on television and radios and what have you. So if you don't read, you don't get to know what is happening. And you go to most part of this country, the papers don't even get there on time. So now radio and television has come to replace the circulation of especially the print media. So even if they don't have the paper over there, they can listen on radio, they can watch on television and know what the papers are reporting. So for me, they are not doing badly. We need to add them on, and they need to also act more professionally. If they do that, it will help all of us.
So do you agree with Blair Meher's call that there should be some censure? I mean, in the media, whilst it is looking at, to some extent, things seems to be getting out of hand. Do you agree with that?
I am wondering if censure will be the right thing to do, except that we have this journalist, the group, whatever the name is. I don't know how potent it is that they can punish their own people when the Ghana DJ and all these other groups. I don't know how potent the group is. I don't know the extent to which the members themselves respect the group, that they can submit themselves for whatever punishment that they want to give to them. I've heard in the past where some of them are invited to appear before the committee and the group, and they refuse to appear, and nothing happens to them. So we need to rather empower them. They should handle their own affairs. I think there are people within the sector who are very level-headed, who want to see the right things being done, who will not allow anybody to just jump into the phrase, a journalist, and wants to do whatever they want to do. There are several examples that we can all refer to, especially around the sub-region, where the institution of journalism had thrown several countries into very deep holes that nobody would want them to be in. So we need to be very circumspect. Okay. We need to know how powerful this thing we call the media is.
Okay, let me come to Alhaji. Alhaji, from the foregoing discussions, do you think that if indeed our media men themselves, they play by the rules and then by their own ethics, and they are disciplined in whatever they do, there would be a need for a big brother to be watching their back, to censure them or to discipline them?
Felix, I think that first of all, it's important for all of us to appreciate the fact that the first point of security, or in terms of somebody watching, must be your conscience. Okay. So you should be guided by your own conscience.
That what you are putting out is a fact.
Whether it is fact or it is the truth. Indeed, you must also begin to ask yourself that what I'm putting out there, is it something that will promote the interest and the good of society? Okay. If indeed the answer is yes, then it means that you have gotten one good reasons for you to publish. It's important to also ask yourself that indeed after publishing, if it promotes the good of society, what benefit would it also yield to that same society that we're talking about? Now, the media, essentially, if you look at our Constitution, in the wisdom of the crafters of the 1992 Constitution, it is not out of place for the media to be described as the fourth estate of the realm. It is a recognition of the role that the media is expected to play. Now, as we speak now, in 1992, thereabout, there are certain issues, or there were certain issues that happens. But because we do not have that vibrant media, those issues were not brought to the fore. Now, if you compare that era with this era, today things seems to be coming out and people are in the known because of the level of consciousness of the media. Now, in terms of the ethics of the media, if you ask me, my humble opinion is that indeed they have moved away. And if you ask me in terms of distance, they are about 50% far away from the ethics of the profession. Now, for me, there was a publication I saw on the front page of a newspaper. I picked that paper and I asked a media man that, is it ethically right for this paper to actually splash this thing in front of the newspaper? The response that came from the media man was no.
I mean, especially see it all the time, nude photos.
Yes,
and photos
and then
of,
especially
victims of abuse,
when you have the paper in colored. that he shows details of that. Certainly, you are not abiding by the ethics of the. Now, what is so shocking, if you ask me, what is so shocking and surprising is the attitude of some media people. They are not looking at the potential danger that what they are publishing is likely to affect, the potential danger. They are not looking at it. So long as it's going to benefit their political ambition or political objective, they regardless of the effect on society, they don't care. They want to put it out. And that is dangerous to our peace that we all want to protect. And let me say this. Peace is a very precious commodity. No amount of money, no amount of jewelry can actually be able to buy. It
commensurates the
worth of peace. Yeah. So you cannot even be able to appreciate it, or that peace is essential unless you lose it. Now, are we going to sit down? And further, I'm saying that because the media has been mandated by the Constitution to be able to inform and educate. At the end of the day, some people have decided, even in terms of education, they are miseducating the people. Along the line, people decide that no, instead of them to present the facts for people to be able to find out whether indeed what they are saying is also problematic. You have media people who want to tilt the story, to sit there. You call them, they say, well, when this government assumed office, I'm just citing an example. The first 2 weeks, there was a publication that the boys in the castle are riding in the flashy cars in town. And you know, my name came up, and I was cited as somebody driving a luxurious Mercedes-Benz. At that time, do you know the car I was driving? It was Volvo. So when the media man was posed, he was asked why he did that. He said, for the past 1 month that we assume office, I have never called him. Clearly, he tells you the seriousness of that journalism that we want to practice. I think that as a democratic country, we can only survive when we cherish our media people. But they should not also forget they have a responsibility. They have to live by those responsibilities. And anytime they sway away from those responsibilities, some of us will draw their attention. We'll use a diplomatic way of drawing their attention. It is important for them, in as much as they want us to listen to them, they must also listen to us, because we also buy those papers to read. And if there are errors in there, we need to raise those errors with them so that they should listen to us and make amends. But that is what democratic environment promotes.
The discussion is focused on election 2012, the media and peace building, with Alhaji Haruna, who works at the Office of the President, and Fred Kwesi Agbenyo, who is a member of the government communications team. Before we went on break, we were still discussing about ways that the media should get involved in the elections 2012. Let me come to Fred. Fred, the 2012 elections is being seen as one of the elections that will be very pivotal in giving more laurels to the democratic credentials of our country, Ghana. For you and the media, what should be the focus of the media to ensuring that there's peaceful election in 2012?
Well, fellas, I think that the media has a very, very crucial role to play in election 2012. The outcome of these elections, as if you're going to have peace, we are going to have no violence in this country, I think that the media has a very, very, very crucial role to play in that. The issues they put out there for public consumption, sensationalism, small issue, they blow it out of proportion, they exaggerate it, create impression of a very chaos situation. I was not too impressed about some of the things that were reported, for instance, during the recent registration exercise. You remember the few skirmishes that took place at Odododo, and it was made to look as though the whole of this country was on.
For 2 weeks?
You know, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, everybody Odododo, as though what has happened over there is something unusual, something you have never experienced before. I am not too sure. From 92
Are you saying that what happened there was usual?
Of course, the point I'm making is that from 92 up to now, we've always had this sort of disagreement here and there when it comes to instances of it,
and all that.
pockets of it here and there. But when we create the impression as though the whole country is on fire, registration exercise, people are being killed, people are being beaten, we make it look so big, because I am not saying one slap is a bad slap. We shouldn't tolerate it. It's unacceptable. But because one person was slapped, the whole of this country must come to a standstill. The whole world must hear that something bad is happening in this country. Let us focus on the issue. Let us condemn it. sometimes the way we run with the story, sometimes happens to the who are the people involved? Let's look at it, a day or two, handle it, push aside, and move forward. Let's look at the good aspect of the essay that is going on. Put that one as well out. It's as if the focus is always on the bad news. Is there any problem there? What is happening? Then quickly, somebody will call, I'm giving live report. There is no third person cross-checking even the report that the fellow is giving from the background as to if the situation is really what the picture is painting. But quickly it's put out in the public domain, and people also are compelled to react accordingly. You know, some statements, for instance, that people made on radio, they said as a result of some of the things that were happening at the Ododo, and I don't think that it was really fair. So the media need to be very guided. They need to be very, very, very focused. They need to be very circumspect. Right? That should be the right way. They should be very, very circumspect as to what they put out there. I am not saying that when wrong things are taking place, they shouldn't report it. But how do they report it? Do they blow it out of proportion? Do they create a very dangerous situation around it when really it is not the case? How do we go about it? How long do we run with it? Which kind of pictures do we even put in front of our newspapers? You have somebody go and bring a picture of somebody. In some cases, an event that didn't even take place at all. You go and bring a picture of somebody whose hair has been chopped off, somebody's hand has been chopped off, and create a impression, very gory pictures, that this has happened at this community. You move to the community and the people who live in the community are even surprised about what you are saying, that this never happened here.
So how come? No reason why the censure is necessary.
Well, I don't want a situation where quickly they'll come back and tell us that they are being caged, they are being guarded, they are not allowed to operate the way they want to operate. I am saying that whichever censors you bring on board, if the practitioners themselves refuse to live by the tenets of the profession that they are practicing, we are still going to have these problems. So they themselves must live above board. People in society believe that journalists are people who really are I don't know the expression to use. People who are living above board, people who understand the issues, and people who have communicate the issues, have the nation at heart, and are very careful about how they go about their issues. Okay. So for me, they have a major role to play. If Ghana is going to succeed in 2012 or not, it depends on what they report, how they report it, what they put in their papers, the sort of things that the pictures they put out there. Because just a picture in front of a newspaper is enough to irritate somebody to go and react. Okay, let me come to Alhaji. Alhaji, do you think that the media is able to put onto the front burner the real issues, the bread and butter issues, the real issues that Ghanaians need to know so that they make very meaningful decisions when they enter the ballot box in 2012?
I don't think so. I don't think that the media is bringing out the issues that are particularly important that will address the issues of bread and butter. Now, if you take the media house in general, you have situations where they think that they have to, at the back of their mind is profit. How can we be able to sustain our business? Now, I can understand the difficulties, and you have a political environment where probably certain things happens and you would want to also project a certain image or a certain interest. Now, in doing so, it is important for you to understand that those things that you want to achieve, you must first of all find out whether it is something that is going to be beneficial to the general good of the people, not you as a media man. Now, I recall when this government assumed office, or in the previous administration, when you are critical against government, you will never be given advert from the government quarters.
Head of stories.
Yes. The papers like The Inside, The Enquirer, the Palava, etc. These are papers that struggle to be able to print their newspapers. Now, clearly, under this dispensation, because of the recognition of the role of the media and how important the media is for the promotion of good governance in Ghana, this government never strangulates the media houses. Okay. I can cite an example. Searchlight, you know, is critical of government.
The one
Searchlight,
daily published President Wilson had a mansion somewhere.
Exactly, Daily Searchlight. There was a publication Daily Searchlight did that attacking a government official, the face of a liar, and brought a huge picture of that government official. Okay. Behind the paper, the paper advertised Agri Development Bank advertisement. Clearly, Agri Development Bank is an institution of state under the control of the executive. But even though the paper is critical against government, government never said, no, we are not going to give him the advertisement. And I'm saying that I cited that example just to let citizens of this country understand that this government will never strangulate the growth of the media houses. But they have a responsibility. Now, in terms of how are they expected to report as we moved or we are entering into an election of 2012, I'm seeing something emerging, which if we are not careful, we will allow the media to create a situation of insecurity in this country.
They will set a certain
They will set, because they have gradually been able to create that kind of situation. And people of this country, some of them sit and think that, hey, then we are not safe, or etc. It's because of the kind of journalism being practiced by the media houses. Now, for me, let me ask, what will you benefit? Should you contribute to the distraction of the peace we are enjoying as a media man? What will you benefit? Should you be able even to do that and benefit from the profit that you want to benefit, the money? And we don't have the peace. You cannot be able to publish any story. Now, indeed, there can be ambassadors of peace in Ghana here. In a well-developed countries where issues of national security is taken serious, when a media house get an information to do with national security, they will not just rush to publish it. They make sure that they contact the state institution responsible to make sure that they get the issues addressed. Now, if they will give that state institution an opportunity to address it, then prior to the resolution of that particular situation, then the media house will then bring out their side of the story. At that time, they have given the state an opportunity to be able to resolve it. Now, in this country, we have a situation where a media house will get the story. Then they think that, no, I should be the first to break the story. Then they are in the haste to do that. Then in doing that, then they create another insecurity situation for our country. And the same people will then get a platform and sit there and be accusing the state institution responsible to fight this. Look, let me say this. We are in a very difficult situation where if you compare the number of policemen in terms of our population, the ratio of police per citizens, clearly the number is huge. So what it means is that we all need to be on the watch and on the lookout so that we can be able to divulge information and assist the police or any national security operative so that when there are potential dangers, we will draw their attention and they can help us to maintain the peace. Because all of us are going to lose it when we don't have the... Why? It's because of peace, that's why we are sitting here. Yeah. So it's important that for me to admonish the media houses. I will not recommend the censorship. It is important that even though they have been given an environment that they can ply their trade, they must be responsible and be guided by the peace and stability of our country. Political parties, you can project interest of political parties, you can do what you want to do, but hey, be mindful of the fact that in your effort to promote that political party's interest, that political parties may succeed in getting the objective that they want to achieve. But remember, the situation you created by making it possible for that political party to actually get that benefit, they will end up inheriting that particular situation. And other people also sit and do same. So we will gradually be drawing the growth and, if I should say, the development of Ghana. I think that the media people must be above board. They can belong to those political parties. But it's important that the first point of call must be the interest of Ghana. So that when we are going to come out with the stories, we should ask ourselves, am I doing any good to the state of Ghana, the corporate entity called Ghana? What is it that I'm doing which is likely to create problems which will affect the stability of the country? It's important that we keep asking these questions so that at the end of the day, we will not jeopardize the peace. Other countries have gone that path, and I'm telling you, if you sit with their citizens and you talk to them, they will tell you that it is a nasty experience. They will not want to chart that particular path again. And if we have not gone to that path, we must not dare make a mistake of falling into that particular trap.
Ghanaians woke up this morning to the front page publication of the Daily Graphic, as I have the newspaper here, captioned Mayhem in Hohoe. Mayhem in Hohoe. And indeed, the pictures that accompany the story, the pictures have been credited to www.myjoyonline.com. And indeed, doing a careful and a critical analysis, I mean, I'll ask my director to show the same graphic, Daily Graphic presentation on the screen for our viewers to see exactly what we are talking about. Doing a critical analysis of the photo that has been published by the Daily Graphic in today's edition, under the story written by Tim Jamboy from Hohoe, Mayhem in Hohoe, you will see clearly, those who saw the newspaper, you see clearly that there's a problem with the pictures. You can see on the screens now the supposed picture of the rioters in Hohoe published by the Daily Graphic today. There are 6 important things we need to notice about the picture, and then to see either the mistake that the Daily Graphic made or the clear misrepresentation, just to throw dust into the eyes of the public. In this photograph, 1, in Hohoe, I have been a citizen, I'm a proud son of the Volta region, and nowhere in Hohoe has a 3-lane dual carriage road. Nowhere in Hohoe. And I am surprised that the Daily Graphic of all newspapers will publish photos supposedly credited to My Joy Online to say that, to put pictures on the front page that there's a 3-lane carriage in Hohoe. And number 2, when you look at the top right corner of the photo, you see the inscriptions Sabbath Motors. In the Volta region, in Hohoe, for instance, there is no Sabbath Motor workshop anywhere in the Volta region, let alone Sabbath Motors to be in Hohoe. And then directly opposite Sabbath Motors, you see an MTN yellow bus stop. And clearly, you notice that that area is the Ajaben Court, which is on the main in Accra Central. That area is the Ajaben Court. And then you also notice some rather interesting features on the picture. 1, you notice that the supposed crowd of the rioters from Hohoe, you notice that the crowd are rather facing the direction of the Ajaben Court, and you have vehicles in queue. You even have people selling pure water, foodstuffs, and other items. And then on top of the insert somewhere, you see the riots, the hot water cannon of the police force. And that should tell you that the people there are organized crowd who are being guided by police. And my suspicion is that this could be a photo that's been taken from the cocoa board building, the tall cocoa board building. And then you see the bottom right of the picture, you see portions of the brown building of cocoa board. These are pictures that were taken from the cocoa board building of maybe one of those high-profile trials in the course where you have supporters of political parties coming out to support whoever they think that they are supporting. So I think it's totally misplaced for the Daily Graphic of all newspapers to come out to put this photo on a Tuesday morning for the entire Ghanaian to deceive the public that these were images that were taken from Hohoe in the Volta region. And I want to call upon the management of myjoyonline.com that whatever they need to do to rectify this situation. We don't know whether the images are coming from them or from the graphic. Whatever they need to do to salvage the situation, they need to do it and do it briefly. To the extent that you even have an insert on the... And there's also some pictures of some streets in Hohoe. If you can also see photos of some streets in Hohoe. The photos will come to you briefly on your screen. Yeah, I think the other slides, so that our viewers will know exactly what we are talking about in Hohoe. And then they'll see clearly the difference between what we are being shown as rioters from Hohoe and what is indeed images taken. Yes, you can see clearly Hohoe Municipal Hospital. You can see the Winners Chapel in Hohoe. And then there is some other photo. Indeed, this is the streets, the main streets in Hohoe. So when you juxtapose these two pictures with what we've just shown as the publication from the Daily Graphic newspapers, you agree with me that there is a problem. Either the pictures were put out there to deliberately confuse the public, to deliberately incite the public, to paint a picture of something that never happened, something that never took place, reporters that had not been at the scene, just going out to dig old pictures of something that happened in Accra and to claim that those things happened in Huawei in the Volta region leaves so much to be desired. And then let me come to you, Alhaji. What is your take on this exposition?
I think that is an indictment on the management of Daily Graphic, because a paper that is known to be credible, a paper that is known not to engage in the kind of publication that other newspapers are engaged in, would not do basic checks to be able to ascertain and verify pictures or stories that are filed for their publication. It's quite disappointing and quite unfortunate, because to be honest with you, today, the only newspaper that when I pick and I read a story in and I believed some level of truth in it is the Daily Graphic. Okay. Because they have been able to carve a niche for themselves. But there are few people in there who I think that
since 1950, even before independence.
Exactly. So it is not a newspaper that you can just treat anyhow, like the other ones that will want to go into the gutters, do all kinds of things and just destroy themselves with mud and the rest. I don't think that Daily Graphic will want to do that. But over the years, they have been making some mistakes which are unpardonable. This clearly, somebody who is in Accra, me, when I picked the paper and look at it, I was able to find or identify the area. So I asked myself, do we have such kind of 3-lane route in Hohoi? Then it means that exactly. But I think that the management of or the editor of Daily Graphic must come again, so that at least we'll do the honorable thing by retracting these things. And to my job online, sometimes I don't know what exactly they want to achieve. I have monitored and I don't have any other website that I normally want to look at or read news items apart from my job online. And over the years, there have been some developments which I think that they need to back up and they need to move beyond or above that. For instance, if a program is inserted there and given an opportunity to people to be able to, even if they have not able to get a live program, and they can actually a playback,
it's loaded on the website.
Exactly, a playback is loaded there. Yet you go and press on the picture, and the video is not there, and they'll tell you that the owner or the user has actually withdrawn that particular video. It's a bit difficult, and this happens twice because
You mean
normally
the program, the majority caucus,
the majority
program
caucus,
that we did the last 2 sessions that we cannot,
and it is not play. It's not good. It's not a good thing that we should allow it to be happening. And for me, I think that it is part of the admonition that we are giving to the media houses. Look, you can continue to do your partisanship thing and the rest, but make sure that you do it within the confines of the law. Do it without actually offending other people. For instance, Daily Graphic, look at the publication. The cops that the
supposed cops of the chief imam.
One thing that you can trust the Muslim is that we value and we respect our dead bodies. So if you have a publication of this nature in front of a newspaper, the family, I mean, the sensitivity of the...
They wouldn't... It was not even necessary to have published the photo in the first place, knowing very well the effect that a picture might have on a people.
Exactly. And what it means is that once they decide to publish, it will incite more people to be angry. When you look at it this way, assuming it is your father or family,
you will not be happy.
Okay, let me come I think that Daily Graphic must do the honorable thing. I think that this is just unfortunate. It's not something that we should pride ourselves with.
Fred, what do you make of this?
Well, fellas, I am surprised about what you did this evening, but I thought all along I was the only person who was in doubt. I come from Ohwe. That is my place. That's my base. I know Ohwe too well. I've lived in Ohwe throughout my life. So when this morning I picked Daily Graphic and I saw this picture, I was trying to identify the particular part of Ohwe where this picture was taken. And I glanced through the whole town. I didn't see any part of Ohwe that looks like this. So I was like, where is this picture coming from? What is the motive? Then again, very close to this picture, is this supposed something bound in white calico, that is the body of Imam. I said, but if even that thing happened in our way, should Daily Graphic of all papers publish it at their front page with the picture? And these are people, you get them often coming out to talk about ethics of the profession, do the right thing. They're supposed to be a national newspaper. Our taxpayer, all of us contribute to the running of this paper. So if individuals in there, for whatever political reason, can just want to be stoking fires, creating sensation, putting out falsehood, and nobody talks about it, we shouldn't touch the media. Then it's most regrettable.
Yeah, but honestly, the editor of Daily Graphic, I believe that is Ransford Tete. Don't you think that the onus rested on Ransford? That anytime you have stories coming from areas that you are not too conversant with, and then you have accompanying images, you should have a way of cross-checking that what you are putting out there are the facts.
I don't want to believe, Felix, that it's a mistake. I can say without any doubt that this is a deliberate publication.
Okay.
To the extent that even this supposed body of Imam was put over here, Graphic should have known better. This one to Ransford didn't see it. Because whatever that comes on the front page of a newspaper, it takes the whole editorial team to sit down and decide to agree this is what we want to put out there. So it's not as if the one who wrote the story decided where he wants to put this particular thing. It was a editorial decision. That's right.
Managed decision.
That's right. So Ransford Tete and his team cannot say they don't know nothing about it. The one whose name is there as the author of the story is the one who published it over there. They know what they're about. But I am happy that you have used your platform for us to tell the whole of this world what they're about. Sometimes you wonder what this administration, this NDC administration, has done to some of these journalists and some of these practitioners.
Even before we come there, let me come to Alhaji. Alhaji, what do you think should be the poster of the Daily Graphic? Should they come out to render an unqualified apology to Ghanaians for this obvious deception of the public in the interest of peace?
I think that, yes, they have to come out to apologize and retract this particular picture. Because as for mistakes are part of the human nature.
Is this a mistake?
And I would want to, well, I would not want to actually speculate because I do not have enough facts. And I want to give the editor the benefit of the doubt. That is not to say I am disagreeing with the position. But indeed, sometimes it's important that you give the person the benefit of the doubt. Wait for 1, 2, 3 days and see whether they will at least be able to retract and apologize. When they do that, then it means that it's an admonition of the mistakes they have committed. But if they fail to do that, just like other newspapers, they would even publish the wrong thing when even rejoinders are sent to them. They will use the rejoinder, then distort the facts even within the rejoinder and present the inaccurate statement or stories that so long as it will actually benefit their political masters, they careless. And I'm saying that Daily Graphic doesn't have that luxury to do that. Because the Daily Graphic is supposed to serve the good people of this country. In as much as other newspapers are doing same, but they are being sponsored by the taxpayers. And they must respect us as taxpayers so that at least whatever they are coming out with should be the truth, the whole truth, nothing by the truth. There will be no any embellishment to actually satisfy party A or party B. You are doing your job. You want to educate. You want to inform. And that should be entertain. That should be the ultimate responsibility of Daily Graphic. So I want to give them the benefit of that. Even though so disappointing that they have done that, I think that basic checks would have informed.
There had been an earlier publication, I remember a few months ago, about a supposed homosexual community in Ghana. Up to today, that story is still hanging. They've not taken responsibility for that story. They've not come to retract that story. They've not come to back the story with facts. And then today, we woke up again with this public deceit. And you think we should still give the Daily Graphic a benefit of that?
Felix, what it means is that as for that publication, it was a deliberate thing to smear the state or the government.
Okay, we have a first caller, Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, good evening, fellas.
Yeah, good evening, Jonathan.
Yeah, good evening. Alhaji Alidu, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. The media, peace, building, and development. What a wonderful topic. But, Alhaji, don't you think you are being unfair to the Daily Graphic? Because I want to believe, and I want to believe that the Daily Graphic is not only a graphic that has published a story like this that is false. I can refer you back to the Palava, the Inquiry, and the other graphics that during the 2008 elections that published false stories about President Kufuor. Talking of the story that stated that President Kufuor built what we call swimming pools in his house, that followed by later on it was not true. Don't you think you are being unfair to the Daily Graphic, and you are not talking of the inquiries and other
Okay, thank you very much.
Stories?
Okay, thank you very much, Jonathan. Let me go to Techiman and take Staff Sergeant Owusu calling us from Techiman. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Staff Sergeant.
Yeah, please, it's a problem. So, all soldiers.
Okay.
Since last year, our back pay kept in good breaths. All soldiers.
Okay.
So I'm taking this opportunity for the office of the president to see it for us. Because all soldiers, we are sadness.
Okay, all right. I think Halidu is here. He will take that concern, and then we work on it. And maybe the next session will give you an update on what we've been able to do on that case so far. Let me pick Isaac from Kumasi. Hello, Isaac.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Isaac.
I have a problem with your about informal newspaper. Sometimes they don't say the truth.
Informal?
So when you finish, you refer to them.
We are not discussing informal here. The discussion is on the media, and a specific case have been linked to the Daily Graphic. Okay, let me pick KK. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, KK.
Yeah, KK from Ashoman.
Okay, KK.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on the Hoho issue.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to say that, first of all, I recommend the efforts of the Chief Imam, you know, the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Nur Shaibutu, you know. He has been the embodiment of peace in the country, and I think we should give him all the necessary, you know, respect and recognition, because all the other leaders are talking about political. He should have taken this matter with all the emotions and all the antics the political leaders will be doing. But he has gone down there, he has restored calm, and I think we have to give him the necessary respect. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, let me pick Frederick from Kwando. Hello, Frederick.
Yeah, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Frederick.
My little concern is about the way things are moving on with the way you are discussing the Daily Graphic over there.
Yeah.
In fact, you see, that's supposed to be a media house. And, you know, Daily Graphic it's having such what do you call it, a famous, that's famous thing there. And we are staying close to Huawei. And actually, we are not saying that is Huawei. But then you can take another means of discussing it. In fact, the way you are making it is true. You are doing propaganda. Excuse me, without word, that you are going too far. Please.
Okay, I'm sorry. If the images, hello, Frederick. Hello, Frederick.
You never use that an instrument to destroy.
Hello, Frederick.
And then you see.
Hello, Frederick. If the facts point to if the facts are clear that the publications that the Daily Graphic did this morning are misleading, I think the onus rests on us to set the record straight. We thank you for the call. Let me pick Masawood from Techiman. Hello, Masawood.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, Masawood.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm very happy and to say I'm not very happy when I saw the Daily Guide or the Daily Graphic. The reason is that the medias. Now, if you look at the medias, media's work is to work and tell the truth. If something happened, you should tell the public truth or tell the nation truth what's happening.
Okay.
But today, medias, I don't think that when the media finish school, they are crying for money. They are not crying. They are not crying to the good work that they have went and learned to deliver it for Ghanaians or the nation. But I think some of them they want money. Look at if something happening.
Yeah, we don't have so much time. Make it snappy.
Okay. What I want the nation to do is that the media, they should, those who publish a paper, which is lie, they should let them go to court and they will remove their mouth and say what they will say.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, let me go to Laura. I pick Sadi from Laura. Hello, Sadi.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Sadi from Laura.
I agree with what Mr. Alidu was saying about all the other media houses.
Okay.
But the fact is that in 2008, Honorable James Ajini Boateng, then Stan Dobe, they started that same thing on Radio Gold.
Stan never worked for Radio Gold. Okay, you proceed.
Then we come back to this Daily Graphic. Yeah, the Daily Graphic came out to publish this Martin Hamidu issue that he was on his knees apologizing to the whole president of this country. Mr. Alidu never told us whether it was true or not, but he's trying to condemn what they did this one.
I guess,
okay. Let us know that.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Halidu, if I can come in, if you want to respond to some of the comments.
Felix, Jonathan, I'm sure he has already made up his mind that he's only coming to speak against what I said. But indeed, if he has listened to me carefully, he would have agreed with me that I indicated I want to give the Daily Graphic benefit of the doubt. Probably they may have identified that mistake and they may come out to retract and apologize. So you asked and making reference to that homosexual story. Yeah. And I said that one, once it has taken about a month without any response and showing any remorse, and certainly it may be a deliberate move to actually smear.
Even just today.
Now, those who are talking, it is shocking they are making this comparison. You realize that you are taking Daily Graphic and you're comparing Daily Graphic with Informer, Palava, etc. Clearly, it tells you the kind of understanding they have. Daily Graphic is the largest circulated newspaper in Ghana.
Okay.
It is a state-sponsored newspaper.
So they ought to hold the standards.
Owned by MPP, CPP, and or what have you. So they don't have the luxury of trying to skew in favor of any group. What is important is that they are supposed to. So the example of he citing that Martin Hamidu said this. Why? If it is wrong, it is wrong.
Okay.
Assuming that I have an opportunity at that time, I would have spoken even against it. So
let's even look at some of the things that have happened in the past. I remember a few weeks ago, Modern Ghana posted a story at midnight on their website that President Mills had resigned.
Exactly.
As of 5:36 a.m., when he realized that what they were publishing was false, they went back to remove the story and then apologize. Just today, the Ghana Web carried a story about Betty Mold Idrisu, former Attorney General, buying 3 houses in the UK. As we speak now, as about 4 p.m., the story was removed after the damage had been done on the integrity of such persons. It came again that the Deputy Chief of Staff, Alex Segbefia, was reported to have bought a $5 million house in Accra here. And then when the issue was pushed, they went and pulled out the story. So it shows that consistently there had been some agenda to throw out mud and dust at people. When you go after them, then they pull out the stories.
Alex, people suffered to build up their credibility and integrity. And we keep trying very hard to destroy that credibility and integrity built over the years. Those people who want to destroy their credibility and integrity, if they decide not to partake in contributing to the development of Ghana, we will have, excuse me in quote, foolish people taken in charge. Now, you have good people,
let's say people who don't have the interest of the state.
That's what I said in quote. Where you fail to have good people in charge of administration, evil will thrive. And I'm saying that, look, it doesn't matter where you stand. Your ultimate objective or concern must be Ghana first.
Okay, let me
and I'm saying that we will promote that agenda so long as we continue, because the future, as I see it, belongs to us.
Okay, Fred, your concluding statements, and maybe if you have a word of advice for people in your home region.
Well, I think I don't want to dwell so much on this graphic issue. As for all of us, it is important that we make sure that the graphic produce the best of stories that all of us can be proud of. It's a national newspaper. Inquirer, which other paper you want to mention, can do whatever they want to do. They are private newspapers. But this one, he can't afford to do some of the mistakes. Let me also judge you this platform. If you look at me this evening, I'm not really a very happy person.
You're sober.
Yes, my home is on fire. I come from Hohwe. I've lived in Hohwe the whole of my life. I've never seen what is happening in Hohwe now. I've never seen it before. We have always coexisted. There are several tribes in Hohwe. You know, I'm from Akwafu, but we live in Hohwe. The Zongo people, the Gbim traditional people. All of us have always lived together. But what has happened yesterday, as we speak today, people are in the houses, curfew has been placed on that area. I don't think that is the best thing for us. What we need in that area is development. Our children must have an opportunity to go to school, come out and become great people to come and help the community. Whatever the difficulties are, I'm just pleading with the factions involved to try to let go, let peace reign. We need peace to be able to develop our area in terms of creating employment for the people. Our roads in the area are not too good.
I'm sorry.
I'm just begging them.
Yeah, we've run out of time. Let me use this opportunity to say thank you to all our viewers.